Hello everybody, welcome back to Cure for the Common Game. Today, we're continuing on with Decktober. By the way, thank y'all for the name. I am doing a video every day for the month of October. Hopefully this will give me time to get caught up. I have a goal that I want to reach by a certain date. And anyway, today is Sir Gwyn, hero of Ashvale's turn. Now, this is one of the Brawl commanders for Throne of Eldraine. 6 mana, 5/5, human, knight with vigilance and menace. I remember a day when that would have been enough for us. But, whenever an equipped creature you control attacks, you draw a card and lose 1 life. Equipment you control have equipped knight 0. Now, I love that design technology. Equip Knight 0. That suggests that they are going to do similar things in the future. Now, obviously, knights and equipment go together. You know, you think of knight and you think of lances. And now, if we can only figure out mounts. I kind of thought that we should have done mounts before we did vehicles, but, you know, it's whatever. So, a couple of ways to actually look at. There's several different build paths you can go with Gwyn. It looks like the obvious would be we are in Boros plus black. What is that? Mardu. And that second ability, you know, equipped creature you control attacks, seems like you would want a lot of knights, a lot of equipment, just so that you could keep drawing gas. And then, you know, that last, you know, equipment are free because obviously, you know, she suggests Knight Tribal, which is totally what I did, but something a little different, courtesy of one Dana Roach over at EDH Rec. He also does 2 podcasts a week with CMDR Central, and he does the EDH Rec podcast with Dana, Matt, and Joey. 2 excellent podcasts, by the way. I consume a lot of podcasts because I spend about 12 to 15 hours a week in my car. So, anyway. So let's look at some knights, shall we? Well, the very first place I went to was the old knight cards. You know, the knights that you just have to put in a knight deck, right? You know, Knight Exemplar. Other knight creatures are +1 indestructible. That's pretty sweet. Now, we got Kinsbale Cavalier. Knights you control have double strike. That's pretty good. I don't care if it is riding a goat. Here recently in M19, we got Valiant Knight. You know, your other knights get +1/+1. And, you know, for 5 mana, you can give all your knights double strike. So that's kind of a theme. It don't feel like it's going to be hard to give our knights double strike. Especially when we've got, where are you at? Quinde. You know, he's a knight. Creatures you control with first strike have double strike. Now, that is a very common ability, and knights is first strike. So, I went Adaptive Automaton. I'll suit it up. He'll be a knight. And then Haakon, Stromgald Scourge. This is, this is beautiful. We have, you can play Haakon from your graveyard, but not from anywhere else. And it occurs to me that I didn't put a Faithless Looting in this deck. Or Cathartic Reunion. Or I have made a deck building error. I have no way to get this from my hand in the graveyard. Anyway, y'all help me look out for in this deck for a way. As of right now, Haakon's a good card. Is great in the deck. Typically, and I didn't even use the Changeling card that gives +3/-3. Oh, I'm terrible at this. Anyway, Haakon's a good knight, and when he's in play, he allows you to play knights from your yard, which is super strong. We just got Inspiring Veteran. It's going to give your other knights +1. But I want to take a look at Sylvia. Okay, now Sylvia you could argue almost does not belong. Yeah, it's a human knight. Yeah, it's double strike, but it gives your dragons double strike. Well, obviously the only reason why to play with Sylvia is if you're playing with Corvath too. To give your knights flying and haste, that's pretty good. And of course, one tutors up the other. Let's get in with some of the new knights. Acclaimed Contender. Enters the battlefield. If you control another knight, you get a little bit of card advantage. You can get a knight, an aura, equipment, a legendary artifact. Hey. Fervent Champion. 1-mana, 1/1, first strike, haste. Do y'all remember when Raging Goblin was awesome? Yeah. Oh, and equip abilities that target this guy cost 3 less. So, just in case we haven't, gotten our commander online yet. Just so good. Worthy Knight. Whenever you cast a knight, you get a human. You got to have somebody carry all that stuff, I guess. Wintermoor Commander with Death Touch. And toughness, this is kind of odd, actually. Its toughness is equal to the number of knights you control, which, it's probably going to be more than 2, right? But when it attacks, another knight you control gains indestructible. Like, say, our commander. Sounds good. Stormfist Crusader. They gave us, all the parts for the knight deck. They really, really did. 2/2 menace. At the beginning of your upkeep, each player draws a card and loses 1 life. Now, like I said, we're in white, red, black. We need some help with the card draw. Oathsworn Knight. It's just a flesh wound. Black Lance Paragon. Target knight gains Death Touch. Smitten Sword Master. Now this is curry favor on this, the adventure part of it. Oh, wow. You gain X life, and each opponent loses X life, where X is the number of knights you control. And then, that's 1 mana. And then you got this, spare knight laying around in the adventure zone. Bell of the Brawl. I like Bell of the Brawl, not just because of the cute play on words, but, your knights get better when she attacks. So let's look at some older knights. We can't do it. We can't have a knight deck without the trio, right? White Knight, Black Knight, and Blood Knight. Now, there is a Silver Knight, but I don't own it. Well, I do. I think one of the other decks from way back has got the only copy of Silver Knight, but they're all 2/2s, first strike, and protection from whatever they consider their enemy color is. Now, we have Dominaria brought us, the Knight of Malice and the Knight of Grace, which is pretty neat. Dominaria also got some other stuff, Arvad. Other legendary creatures you control get +2/+2. We've already seen what? Our commander. We've seen Quende. We've seen Sylvia, Corvath. There's a couple. We've got Ariel, Knight of Windgrace, a big knight that makes knights and uses those knights to destroy creatures. So, yeah, that's still pretty good. Another legendary knight is Ballin. Oh, yeah, I know it's Balan, but he's Ballin. Just 2 mana, attach all equipment to him. Well, you control. And he's got double strike if you got 2 or more equipment attached to it, so that's neat. Steel Moon Cavalier, we got an Eventide as kind of a blend between the White Knight and the Black Knight. Still really good, still super strong. Now, I will admit, Hobgoblin Dragoon is in there. Yeah, it's foil, which is what caught my eye, but we don't have a whole lot of flying knights, So the flying in first strike is definitely kind of what sealed it for me. And then our last creature, I think, is the Coolwrath Knight. Now, 5 mana, 3/3 flying Wither, but the real reason why we're playing it is it says Creatures your opponents control with counters on them cannot attack or block. So this shuts down any +1 counter deck. Hydras, some elf builds. So it's just so many. Just, they become useless. Well, not useless. They can still use abilities and whatnot. But yeah, it's pretty neat. Now, I guess Knights got to have something to carry, don't they? So let's look at our equipment. Now, first off, Sword of X and Y. There's, 10 of them now. They're all awesome. And if I had them, they would be here. They are a little beyond my budget, though. I think the one or two I've got y'all seen in other decks, so they belong to those commanders. So, if you got them, run them. They're awesome. But the very first card I thought of, we all thought of this, right? It was the Hammer if I Kill You Quickly, of the Colossus Hammer. +10/+10 and loses flying. Well, with Knights, that doesn't matter a lot of the time. Now, Korvath does grant flying, so you got to watch out for your timestamp order as to which way you do it. Still, though, I'll give up flying for that +10/+10. Oh, for the free, yeah, because you're going to equip Knight 0. Argentum Armor was another one. 6 to cast is, it's kind of on up there, but destroy target permanent when it attacks. Oh, yeah, and it gets +6/+6. That equip cost of 6 is supposed to balance it, but here, we don't have to pay it. Locks it on Warhammer, of course. I mean, it's the trample, it's the +3, it's the lifelink, it's the everything you want. It has that magical equip cost of 3, so it's not too expensive. It's not real cheap either, but the one red guy it equips for free, so that's kind of sweet. Sword of the Animist, because let's face it, we're in white, red, and black. We don't have access to no rampant growth type effects, so or that many. I mean, they exist, but they're not in here. But Sword of the Animist, great card, pairs very well with Blackblade Reforged. Now, Embercleave is a new one. Yeah, an equipment that you kind of want to play in the middle of combat. It has flash. It costs 1 less for each attacking creature you control, so it's very possible we're just playing double red for this. When it enters the battlefield, it just attached to target creature you control. Okay, it enters the battlefield, you just free equip. Gotcha. Equip creature gets +1/+1 and double strike and trample. What? The equip cost is 3, not that it's going to matter. Wow. Embercleave's a great card. Mace of the Valiant. Now, this is a high number card. It is from, I want to say, the Brawl decks, maybe? I'm kind of lukewarm on it. I'll have to see how it plays. Equipped creature gets 1/1 for each charge counter on it and has vigilance. Whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control, put a charge counter on it. Equip 3. So, we got a lot of Knights. But I don't know if, I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. Stoneforge Masterwork is a great equipment for a tribal deck, and this is a tribal deck that cares about equipment, so it kind of was a clean fit. Now, I have to apologize. We can't really, I don't know how to build an equipment deck without, grafted exoskeleton. So, yeah. +2/+2 and infect. Especially when we have so much that gives trample, and it's really, really nice. Have a Diabolic Tutor as our, one tutor to just go and try to find things. Sign in Blood and Knight's Whisper. I need those probably to be the Faithless Looting and the Cathartic Reunion. Mainly to get the Haakon thing, but I want to look at the cool stuff right now. This is the cool Dana Roach tech of the deck. We're playing with mana rocks. Not just a few. And there's a reason. Orzhov Locket. Orzhov Cluestone, Orzhov Signet, and yeah, we're intentionally playing with the bad ones. The three and Talisman of Indulgence, Spinning Wheel, Urgolem's Eye, Darksteel Ingot, Manalith, Mardu Banner, Boros Locket, Rakdos Locket, Rakdos Keyrune, Rakdos Cluestone. Now, I know the first thing y'all are wondering is why so many dang mana rocks, right? Well, we are playing 3 colors, and they do solve color fixing problems. Now, our commander is kind of expensive. It's 6. But the rest of the creatures are fairly cheap, you know? So, I know you got to be wondering why. Well, mana rocks, beyond like the super obvious ones, the big ticket, you know, the Soul Ring, the Mana Vault, Grim Monolith, what's the zero cast? Soul Ring. Can't think of it because I don't Mana Crypt. I've never owned one, so. But anyway, those draw a big target. But let's face it, a Rakdos Cluestone, nobody's gunning for that, right? So, and hardly any of those Manalith. You play Manalith and people apologize for you because normally it's not a card you strategically want. There's so many better versions of all of these cards. However, I want to introduce you to a little card called Bludgeon Brawl from New Phyrexia. Enchantment. Each non-creature, non-equipment artifact, i.e. all of our mana rocks, become an equipment with Equip X, and equip creature gets +X+O, where X is that converted mana cost. Now, so in the early game, we rock, and then we get a couple knights out there, we draw our Bludgeon Brawl, they all become equipment with Equip Knight 0, and you just put them all on one, say you're commander, and commander damage somebody out. As Dana said, this is a clutch card for the deck. It's one of those things that nobody sees coming, and if they do see coming, they start to overvalue your mana rocks and how, if they're going to start wasting removal on your Urgolem's Eye, yeah, you're coming out on top on that deal. So let's look at our removal suite, shall we? Y'all know me, I got to have my Disenchant. Doomblade, Murder. I got some of those pretty murders in. They were super, super cheap. So I figured I'd better grab them because I don't think they'll stay cheap. Despark. Beautiful card. Unmake. Now, I put Murderous Rider in the removal section because, let's face it, we're going to cast that first every time. I don't see a scenario where we're not just going to be like, I don't think I want this value of this removal spell. I think I just want my 2/3 lifelink. A Mortify and a Panic Button of Kaya's Wrath, just in case you got to have it. It is very possible that we get out creatured, green as a color. So let's look at our mana base, the non-basic lands here. Now, I'll admit this particular mana base is a little better than normal, thanks to the Brawl decks having shock lands in them. We've got Godless Shrine, Temple of Silence, Temple of Triumph, Fabled Passage, Exotic Orchard, Tournament Grounds, Gateway Plaza, Windscarred Crag, Evolving Wilds, Boros Guildgate, Stone Quarry, Scour Barrens, Forsaken Sanctuary, Bloodfell Caves, and Cinder Barrens. And that is it for Sir Gwyn. It's a super interesting take. I as soon as I saw Dana mention the Bludgeon Brawl, I thought, oh man, that is awesome. I love it. I'm going to shuffle a little bit here. Take the basics. Because I am probably playing this deck sometime soon. I need to get some human tokens. I think I normally, one thing I like to do that sometimes I don't always find time is I like to put the tokens that the deck uses actually in the deck box, so that way I don't have to go hunt for tokens. And I'm not always the one playing my decks, you know. So that is deck number 485. Oh, just get up. There we go. 485. Done. So we got 15 decks to go until deck number 500. I think I've decided what deck number 500 is going to be. I believe it's going to be Angus Mackenzie. And I want to try to build Angus Mackenzie in a way that I've never seen. You know, everybody does the turbo fog thing because he's a walking, breathing fog. And y'all know me, I kind of want to do something different. I think maybe I found a way to make it unique. Anyway, I appreciate y'all watching. I'm going to try to continue on this deck a day or video a day. It might be decks, it might not be. You know, there's openings, and there's still a few of the Eldraine decks left. I realize that's more than a few. What is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So there's 9. Heck, that means I've got 10 done. Not bad. So I do appreciate y'all watching. It's deck building is kind of a therapy for me. I at this point in time in my life, I kind of really need it, and I appreciate y'all bearing with me through it. And I just, you know, I love this game, always have. And when I found this format, it just spoke to me. So I hope maybe if y'all are getting anything out of this, you know, it warms my heart. So I appreciate it. Y'all let me know what you think. But yeah, see, when I look over, what I'm doing is my computer screen is way over there. It's like, I don't know, what is that, 8 feet over that way. And so I'm luckily I have a wireless mouse and it reaches, but I have to get my mouse on the button. So that's why you always see me go, But anyway, I appreciate y'all watching. Y'all let me know what you think. And right now, it is time to shuffle and cut.